Hi Sam, just looking at your book cover. It looks really good. I like the design a lot. Um, I do notice some issues, just more technical things. So if I go to File, Document Setup, this will show me what size your document is. So this should have been, I believe 20.75 is what this should have been. I mean, we can add that in after the fact. It's probably not the best idea, actually. But anyway, and then this should have been 9. And then your margins, you can keep them all the same if you wanted to. You don't have to make them different here. Maybe there's a reason why you did that. I'm not quite sure, but the bleeds are 0.125 on this document. We want to make sure that, we click this a couple times to make sure 0.125, which is 1/8 of an inch, is in all of the bleed, outside, inside, bottom, top. And then, if we change that to 20.75 and this to 9, push OK, that would be the correct dimensions for the document. I did make a video going over how to set up the document properly. I'm not sure if you watched that, but it kind of appears maybe you didn't. And then, these should be about 3.5 inches wide because the first, what do you call guide should be about at 3.5 inches in. Which, let's see, where's, oops, I'm not on the right thing. Does not appear that yours is. You have a guide here that's not set up correctly. So we have some guides in here, but I'm not really seeing. I added the bleed on later. And this should be about an inch wide, which it is, which is good. Your spine is an inch wide. Well, that was a little bit wider than an inch, but so let's take a look here a little bit closer here. So I like your design. I think that it looks pretty professional for the most part. Let's look at your links. If I go through here, they're in RGB. The effective PPI is really low on the author image, but one way you can get around that is just grab it and shrink it down. Till it's the effective PPI is closer to 300. You can probably get away with 250. That's close enough. That makes it kind of small, but I think that's okay. I don't think it really matters too much. We can, oops, I grabbed it with, so we can just center it inside this box here with the, let me close these out, the alignment tool. And this is a little close to the edge, so we always want to kind of try and make enough room for everything and center it inside of our panel here. I don't know if you wanted a stroke on the box, like an outline color, but I don't think you necessarily needed it. This should be maybe just over so that it's aligned with, why am I not seeing my alignment? Oh, I'm getting all sorts of pop-ups here. I can use alignment in the properties panel as well. Why is this? For some reason I'm not seeing the alignment buttons anymore, even though I'm in, so I'll just have to eyeball it. I do notice some of the documents I get from you are, sometimes there's some weird things, but if I push W on my keyboard I can see my bleed lines, and we need to take these out to or past the bleed line. Sometimes I just do it past because it's faster. I think this must be an image, so let's look at the link here. RGB, low PPI. Although, I mean, it's a cool image though, and I can see why you wanted to use it. But we would probably want to at least make the bounding box bigger, and then we can even use the properties panel. I'll use the frame fitting area here and just have it fill the frame. Let's see, what's this? Is this an image? Nope, this is just, I don't think it needs a stroke on it. I'll take that off. Make all this stuff come to the bleed lines. And actually on your design too, I noticed, I looked at the PDF. When I open it up, these two lines, I kind of like them, but I also feel like it cuts her waist off in an awkward spot. I think she might actually look better just on the edge. Or either bring the stripe, the blue stripe, all the way to the edge. Because there's this little spot here and this little spot here of black. And this is actually, this title is actually really close to that line. So, I mean, if we push W, I would almost just get rid of that because it was really close to that L, and I would almost get rid of it here, or either push W and bring it just all the way to the bleed line. But I think actually it would probably look better with her, and you'd want to bring her waist all the way down to the bleed line, her there, and just leave it simple. And then here, I think you put a box here with maybe like a shadow around it, which is not bad. But I think maybe just giving that text more room, and you could even maybe even extend this box across the whole panel and center this in there, and give it a little bit more breathing room on top and bottom, and just make sure it's centered in the design of the back page. So if the back page is like 6 inches wide, which is supposed to be about 6 inches wide, I believe, and just center it in there, something like that. Is this an image? Oh, that's text, I think. Oh, wait. I don't know what that is. Let's see. I mean, these could be center aligned. They don't look bad though. Their alignment looks pretty good. This all looks good. This must be traced. This is RGB, low resolution. Same goes for this one. So I don't know if there's any way around that. I don't think there is, unless you traced these images and then brought them in. One other thing I would do is, or just use different images maybe, but make sure that this is centered. This box is out past the bleed line there, way past the bleed line there. Let's just bring them, oops, let's just bring it into the bleed line, and then we'll use the frame fitting tool. I like the images you use too, and they probably are of the actual like characters, or maybe you got them off online obviously somewhere, but you know, you could still use these images potentially, but maybe trace them in Illustrator first and then bring them in, and that might have helped with the PPI problem, or the effective PPI problem. So let's go into properties, do frame fitting here, so that we at least get it up to the bleed line on either side. This one needs to come down here to the bleed. Oh, how long of a picture is that? Huh? Okay, and then with this one, it has a shadow on it. Let's look at the links. That actually looks good. The effective PPI on that looks good, but it's still an RGB, so we'd have to do a control click, or command click, or no, it's control, sorry. Control click, which is a right click on a Mac. Edit with Photoshop. I showed you this in the last video I made, but I'll show you one more time on what I'm wanting you to do with these images. Each one does need to be edited in Photoshop. So we go in here, we do image, mode, CMYK color, maybe Command L for levels. Maybe I want to enrich this image a little bit, kind of make the blacks blacker, the mids more, and maybe make the white or the lights lighter. Sometimes I push it too far, but then do a Command S, and we'll just save over the old file. Go back into InDesign, and it should be updated now to be CMYK at least. You put a shadow on this one, which I think looks fine, but if you're going to do that here, then you should do it over here. Also with these, I mean, one thing we could do for some consistency, I guess, is I might have changed the text on this. I didn't mean to do that. I think you probably, so probably this text is supposed to be this text here. And same with this, maybe. I'm not sure. And honestly, whatever size you have on the others, you should have everywhere else. So we want to make sure. I'm using the eyedropper tool to do this. All left aligned, it looks like. This needs to be narrower, much like on the other side. So, you know, we could make them the same width, like the width is up here, the W width, 2.64. We could make this, oh, that's 2.64 too. So that just worked out really well. I need to make more room for this box. So since I kind of made the text a little bit different. Oops, trying to grab that other thing here, bring that up. I don't know if you have layers or not. Nope. I don't usually work with layers either, so there's no issue with that. I almost wonder if this wouldn't look better left aligned. Probably not. Maybe. And then this one could be the same. And actually we could just Command C, Command V this, and then take the white arrow tool and remove it. Remove his image from that bounding box. Come up here with the white arrow, Command C, grab that command, and then do Command V. Or no, wait. Did that go in there? No. Do Command Option V, and that'll fill in the bounding box that we copied from the author image. And I almost wonder without the if this would look good without that drop shadow. And let's line these up top edge, and I'll move this over again and then line it up along the side edge as well so that it matches this side. These might actually look better centered, so let's just center them. And I think something like that looks pretty good. We could also do like Command A inside of here to select all the text within that text box and try this type of alignment. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't, and actually I think in this case it actually looks pretty good. So we might want to go with that. Looks like you have, yeah, there's one lonely word. So we can always put a return there to make that not so lonely. Looks like everything else looks pretty good. I would almost say you might not even need this box here. Although, yeah, actually you do. Yeah, you definitely do. I wonder, instead of black, if it would, let's take the stroke off the box. Instead of black, maybe you could just do like a really dark blue. I don't know, that might be too like green blue. Maybe like a little less greeny of a blue. I don't know, maybe it could just match this blue. And then be, if we go to Window, Effects, we could do Multiply. And that might look kind of nice. And I would actually take off the outer glow on this object. Take off the outer glow. Just uncheck it. Push OK. So I think that looks a little bit better. I would even almost go as far as just to stretch this over the whole back panel. Maybe not though, that's kind of dark. We could leave it like this, and then we could do, this is the gradient feather tool. If we grab that, if with your box selected, so we have the multiply box selected, maybe I want to feather it out here. And so I can click and drag it, and you can customize the feather. So maybe I want to just have it feather at the very end here. And then maybe I want to extend the box a little bit further down, just to get rid of that hard edge. And that might be the way to kind of approach that. This image looks a little dark to me. It might be one that you open up in Photoshop. And, you know, it looks like you clipped it, which is great, but maybe we could do a image mode, CMYK color, Command L, bring the midtones up a little bit. It's just kind of a lower quality image. I don't know if that's actually doing it any favors. Command S, save over the, well, I'm going to change it out as a PSD. Save it, go back into InDesign, we can relink it to the new, oops, that's the wrong one. Anyway, you get the point. I kind of want to see what it looks like now, though. If I can find... there we go. A little bit lighter, anyway. So maybe something a little bit more like that. And, I mean, one thing that could be done here, too, is that, you know, this could be brought down. Oops. This could be brought down a little bit, these three things. And just kind of line up the top of all of your text together. All the body copy could be kind of lined up with each other. Something like that. But anyway, I'll wrap it up I think that it looks really good. There were just a few tweaks, and the size of the document wasn't quite right.